The Sixers have a series. Tyrese Maxey, baby. He came through, Mitch.
Big time.
Tyrese came through.
Yeah.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 76ers, and we want to thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customer gets $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Mitch, so your boy Tyrese Maxey, we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about Tyrese Maxey, how he saved the day, and basically how he saved Joel Embiid's legacy, so to speak. Secondly, we want to talk about, second segment, we got to talk about Tobias Harris. He had his best game. He had, 19 points on 7-11 shooting.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre was balling too.
Yeah.
The third one, we got to talk about, can they carry this on? What can they do? Can they sustain this? Because that was a tough one, bro. It was a tough one, and it was a good win for him. But, come on, man. Tell me, what was your thoughts on Tyrese Maxey's performance?
Man, it was an absolutely astonishing performance, man. You know, for him to go to 46 points, 9 assists, and connecting on 7 of 12 threes. I mean, I like the fans who were exiting Madison Square Garden with 25 seconds, 26 seconds left in the game. I thought it was over. I was like, we've already had the miraculous comeback in game 2 by the 70s by the Knicks in the waning 30 seconds when they scored 8 straight. And my no stretch of imagination that I think Tyrese Maxey was going to get a 4-point play. I think Mitchell Robinson's still holding his hands up in the air and like, who, me? And then they come down there with that logo and just, hey, here I am. and the Knicks, they blundered away some things. You missed, the missed free throw by Josh Hart that hurt him, but the Sixers won this game. We spent the majority of this playoff series talking about, New York wanting it more. Well, they didn't want it bad enough last night. I was going to ask you, Keith, is the New York City Transit Department on strike? And I'm thinking maybe the fat lady who was supposed to show up at Madison Square Garden, maybe she fell asleep, couldn't get a train, to get off and sing for spiking those folks. But Maxey was just spectacular. He's been ascending all season, and that was a superstar turn, man.
Yeah, that was a superstar performance. It really was. I mean, he was a little disappointed because he turned the ball over and he missed the 3 foul shots in the fourth quarter. But when you look at it, we talk about superstar performance. Yeah. So Tyrese Maxey had 46 points. He made 7 to 12 3-pointers. He was 5 for 8 from the foul line. He had 5 rebounds. He had 9 assists, right? And he did have 3 turnovers and 5 fouls, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing that got me in the fourth quarter, he scored 17 points in the fourth quarter, right? On 6 for 7 shooting. Mm-hmm. He was 4 for 4 on 3. And he scored the team's final 7 points in the last 24 seconds. I mean, the dude, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It was actually the last 25.4 seconds. So when you look at all that, you got to say to yourself, he was balling. He was doing his thing. He did it. And the thing is, though, I'll be honest, Joel Embiid, the 9 turnovers were horrible that he had. Horrible. I mean, 4 in the fourth quarter, he didn't have any lift. He was struggling shooting the ball. But there was a while where he was like, because what did he have? He had a game high 10 assists, a game high 16 rebounds, and he had a game high 4 blocks. But those 9 turnovers game high too. But for a while he was balling. But then it got to a point, and it was like what Maxey did for him was kind of like saved his legacy, because it's like another closeout game where Joel Embiid disappears down the stretch.
Yeah.
Right. And Maxey saved it for him.
Yeah, they lived to fight another day because of Maxey, and also because Tobias Harris showed up, Kelly Oubre showed up, but Maxey was like I said, he was magnificent, man. I mean, who expected him when he brushed off McBride to hit that shot from damn near the logo, So when if in the just watching him when the end of regulation got here, watching his celebration, the guy was jubilant, and I was like, okay, so he's ready to go into this overtime period fighting, and they fell behind again. And here comes Maxey again, hitting trays and getting all around the court. And there is a game 6 because of the way he played. As good as Brunson was, I think McBride played well for them. But this, it's an amazing. He took Broadway. That's all there is to say. He went to Broadway and he took it, man. It was amazing.
It was all right. It's like, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you gotta admit, Keith, when you were sitting there watching that, I mean, going through the mind of a writer, you're saying, okay, I'm getting ready to file this, and
you know what you're really saying, bruh? I'm on deadline.
Yeah,
I gotta change my lead.
Yeah.
But it was good. You never really know the magnitude of it until it's over.
Right.
Does that make sense to you? Like, you never know until it's over.
Absolutely, and the way, the way it got there, because I didn't have a good feeling for that game. The Sixers jumped out early, and they got into this. They were shooting threes early on, and New York was stone cold at the start of the game. I think they missed their first 8 or their first 9 field goal attempts, and I was like, man, you got to capitalize on this right now, because they don't put up a lot of points. They try to, they want to get you in a grinded out game. They want to rebound the basketball, and kudos to the 76ers and, for being on the glass. And we got to give Joel kudos for, what do you have? They have 5 offensive rebounds. Joel had more offensive rebounds by himself than the entire Knicks starting lineup did, So, and when they go to the glass, that makes a difference in this series. When you rebound, when you show up, when you man up, when you don't get those palookas from, up the turnpike, something to cheer about, and hopefully they don't come down. I don't know if you saw it. Dawn Staley was tweeting out to folks.
Yeah, I saw that.
Don't sell your tickets. Be in the place on Thursday.
I love that, but the only thing is, it's good. Dawn, I love Dawn to death, but she a millionaire. Multi-millionaire. Some people gotta pay bills,
Right, right. It's like, Dawn, go buy a section of seats.
Yeah. If you do that, we good. You know what I mean? So yeah, if she does that, we good.
Want to make mom smile? Start Mother's Day with flowers or surprise her with gifts from the brand she loves, delivered the very same day with DoorDash. Does mom have a sweet tooth? Is she a tech enthusiast, a beauty connoisseur, or is she outdoorsy maybe? No matter what your mom's into, you can make her smile with a fruit or flower bouquet, makeup, some tech gear, workout wear. You can get her anything. So what you should do as Mother's Day approaches and your mom is your favorite girl, make sure you get all your Mother's Day gifts all in one place at 50% off your next order, up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower, convenience, grocery, or retail order now with code LOCKEDONNBA. That's Locked On NBA. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. It's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/locked on and make every playoff shot count. It's FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? If you are, you should get a life. Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Well, make the switch to Locked On Sports today. A free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single solitary day.
Yeah, so when we look at it, we talk about, you mentioned it a little bit in the first segment about Tobias, and I felt like they did a really good job of getting him involved. Actually, they looked for him for the first time in a while. If you notice, they had him in the dunker position at times, and then other times they had him out in the perimeter, and he would sprint down there and try to post the guy up.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a lot of things. They had made a conscious effort to look for him. He ended up scoring the first 5 points of the game, and he ended up with 7 points on 3 for 3 shooting in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, Joel was doing some wraparound passes to like Kelly Oubre going to the basket for dunks and everything. But I felt like them getting those two guys involved really helped today, because Joel was struggling shooting the ball offensively, getting shots blocked and everything, and doing that. And I feel like those two guys, Kelly and especially Tobias, being able to be in attack mode and getting a little bit of a rhythm, it kind of benefit them. Now again, they don't win the game if Maxey doesn't get the 46. But at the same time, they did a lot that kept them in that game.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's be honest. The most points that Tobias had scored in the game in this series was 10. Prior to Tuesday's game, he went for 19. He shot the ball very efficiently, 7 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from beyond the 3-point line, and lo and behold, it was the 76ers who shot better from beyond the arc. They were 15 for 39 compared to New York's 10 for 36. And also New York didn't help itself with its piss poor free throw shooting, going 16 for 24. But I mean, it was all or nothing last night. It was all or nothing. The 76ers needed Tobias Harris to step up. And, I know I mentioned that he's probably checked out. He's cleared that $180 million. And he's now like, it's kind of, hey, man, I'm just, whenever I play my last game, and it could be tonight at Madison Square Garden. But, Tobias came out determined. He came out, like you said, he scored the first 5-6 points for the 76ers. I said, well, maybe Tobias is going to go for those 25, 28-point games. But he scored consistently. And that's good to see from him. And it's also good to see Kelly Oubre getting active, and scoring. And, he a few of those passes to Joel kind of, they missed up. They didn't hook up a few times correctly, and that hurt them. But by and large, they got, everybody showed up. And even, Nick Batum stepped in with 8 points and 8 boards. So they got contributions. People weren't just standing around watching. Well, everybody was watching Maxey, but you have to have other people. And the Knicks didn't help themselves. They didn't get much from Josh Hart. They didn't get much from DiVincenzo. So McBride played well for them, but the 76ers got a great effort from Tobias Harris. That's what and it couldn't have come at a better time for him.
But do you think? Do you think Tobias could keep it up?
Oh man, why you have to go throw water on the cat?
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying, do you think the Sixers? Because the thing about them is, my big concern about this team is, and nobody wants to talk about it, but it's like when they that was a game that they were supposed to lose.
It was.
Right. And then, but whenever you start believing in them,
they break your heart.
Yup, that's the 76ers. Yeah, they break your heart, So now that's the scary part, because that's the scary part. And I mean, we'll talk more about it in the next segment, but to me, that's the scary part when you talk about this team. It's like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
And and it's going to come down to Tobias too.
If you contributed in Tuesday's victory, by all means, show up on Thursday and please contribute. Make another contribution. Will Tobias show up? You know what? After tonight, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He looked very relaxed in the press conference. I'm going to go against my head and go with my heart on Tobias. He said, yeah, he'll show up and and they'll force. He'll play well to contribute. Game 6 is always a bad one. I'm thinking about Boston last year, and I'm thinking about Miami when Miami closed them out here. But this is their opportunity to get back to the second. To get and to do it. Very few teams have done it. We'll talk about that later in the segment. Coming back from 3-1 in the playoffs. But yeah, I think Tobias can do it, Keith. I'm going to be positive here. I'm it's positive vibes, positive. All good feelings with Tobias.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All good feelings. I do believe he can do it, but I just want to make sure that they run the same stuff, because some guys try to take over a little bit. But the thing is, I think Joel knows he can't go, and he has to rely on teammates right about now. Yeah. So that's a good thing. It's good that he's relying on teammates. It's not a good thing that he can't really go. You know what I mean? So.
And he's just not himself, man. Like you said, getting the shot blocked like he did.
Yeah.
He's just not himself. And other guys have to step up. You look at Joel and you say, well, is it going to get any better? Playoffs that's a grueling stretch now. It's games every other day. You get a little deep in the playoffs, you get some breaks, 2 days off. But let's keep our eyes directly on what the 76ers have in front of them, and that would be Game 6.
Yeah.
At Madison Square Garden South. Let's hope.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
There's always the potential it may be.
Yeah.
But right now, let's talk about Monopoly Go. All right, game off. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying. Flag on a play. You already talked about that. But there's just so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get. You can get unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes. Cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with. Hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now, free on the Google Play or the App Store. Game on.
Now, here's the deal, man. So we talked about it. Can they win, man? Can they win game 6?
Man, they can, but then,
Will they win?
man, Keith, I have a feeling that they will win. In full transparency, I did pick the Knicks to win this series. So I guess that makes me like, a bad guy because I think that it's going to be difficult to win in Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. I think they can get Game 6, and in the history of this league, 13 times, teams have come back from 3-1 deficits to win. Most recently, the Nuggets did it twice in the bubble, coming back in back-to-back series in the Western Conference first round against Denver and the second round against the Clippers. And, it's not as rare these days as it was, before the 2000s. It's happened 7 times in the playoffs since 2003. So can they win? Yes, they can win. Will they win? I wish I had the answer to that. I do have a feeling. I don't care how many of those folks hop in their Lexuses and put on their tank tops and wave those flabby, unsun-baked arms and say "Go New York, go New York, go." I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think even with Joel, struggling, and Maxey got a little banged up, but while we talk about the Sixers injuries in this situation, we've definitely got to talk about the Knicks. Granted, they got Mitchell Robinson back, but they're still missing some people. They're still missing some folks.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're still missing people.
It's Bogdanovich.
That's a big one right there.
That's a big one there. That's a big one right there.
That's a big one. You know what? It's weird because, I want to say they can. I mean, but maybe the best thing that happened to them was all the New York Knicks fans coming down there. Maybe it's going to be a little hostile now. Maybe they're going to be ready to come out and go after them and save the day, so to speak. Maybe they're going to have to do that. But, it's just they can win, but they scare me, man, because whenever you talk about them winning is when they choke. And whenever you think they're going to get boat race is when they play well. So this is your 76ers who tend to scare me.
But the Knicks don't have a lot of reason to be optimistic, man. For coming here. Granted, they won here. It's always hard to win twice on the road in a playoff series. Now, you had a great game from Brunson. You got the 40 out of him. Josh Hart had 18 points, but he needed 17 shots to do it. And Obi-Wan Kenobi played well. He gave 17 points. But they were minus 10 when he was on the floor, But again, if you look at the rebound, yes, Joel almost had that ugly triple-double. And he ever since he went for that 50, he hasn't looked the same. And he looked particularly slow tonight. And you have to give him credit for grinding it out. So he'll have to come here and grind out another one. You just watch him, and I know I'm starting to wonder, what does he have left? It's you got to win 2 more in this series just to get to the second round.
Yeah,
and I just don't know what he has. I don't know what he has left, but I do think that there was just something about that game Maxey had, man. I think I really believe Maxey is going to carry some extreme, and he got kind of banged up too, man. That one play late in the game where he fell, hit the ground. And I don't know if he was reaching for his elbow, but then he got up and he was limping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. But I think they can. I think they can. Can they become the 14th team to come back from 3-1? I don't know.
We'll see. Let's see if they can force Game 7. That's the main thing. See they win and do that. But look, y'all, we want to thank y'all for listening. We want y'all. I hope that y'all have a good day. But before we go, I would love to talk to you guys a little bit about our Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channel app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts on Locked On Plus, our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channel app. So for my man Mitch and for me, we want to thank y'all for listening, and we want y'all to have a blessed day. Peace.
Peace, y'all.